Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Review Quell. Now, yesterday was a really exciting day because it was the release of the Xbox Series X, and it probably also means that you guys are either getting your console, already have your console, or about to get your console for Christmas. Three really exciting things. Now, the Series X had a slight controller refinement this year over the completely new redesign that PlayStation went with. And that's what I want to have a look at today. I've got my original, my Series X controller here, and my original Xbox controller, and we're going to put them up against each other and find out just what the differences are, and why you might favour one over the other. They of course do both work across all generations. If you want to take the Series X controller and use it on your One X or One, that's fine. If you want to bring your One controller over to a Series, then that's totally fine too. Anyway guys, if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then please do consider getting down there, hit that subscribe button, hitting that bell notification icon. I've got a lot more Xbox content, PlayStation content, and so much more coming over the next few weeks. Anyway, let's get right into this comparison of the Series X and One X controllers. Let's go. So here we are with both of the controllers. We can of course see that this one is the newer one because of that share button, but that's what we're going to get into today. Looking at both of these controllers, they look very similar at first, but there are some rather key differences which we're going to go over in this video. So let's pick up the Series controller here. I'm going to call them the Series controller and the One controller for this video. So this is the Series controller here. And this one is the One. The One X to be precise, because you've got the 3.5mm jack port on the bottom there. But the first thing you're going to notice when you pick up a Series controller is that it is ever so slightly smaller in the hand. This is by a couple of percent, I believe, but the main reason for it is it would fit more people's hands. Personally, I find it very comfortable. That slightly smaller body is more comfortable for me. It might not be for everyone, but that is one of the main differences here. So I don't know whether we can really... It's difficult to kind of weigh it up here, but there is a ever so slight difference in size. I think that's probably the best way to show it. So size is definitely one thing, and size doesn't always matter, as my mother would always say. So let's have a look on the front here as well. We're going to see that this controller is slightly different in colour. So with the Series, we seem to get this more graphite style controller over the jet black of the original Xbox One controller. Also, the materials are slightly different. On the Series here, we've got a more matte finish, whereas the original X is slightly higher gloss. So it's just easier to handle and it's not going to fall out of your hands. Talking about grip, all around this controller along the bottoms here and on the triggers, we have this new grippy material. It's actually very comfortable, and I think it's going to be very, very useful for when you're in the midst of battle of Call of Duty and you've got very sweaty hands. So that's another difference there. This controller is much more grippable. Taking a look around the top as well, we've obviously got a USB-C port now over the micro USB there. I've got a battery pack installed to this one, so there's two micro USBs, but you get the idea. The USB-C means that you don't have to carry as many cables around, I suppose, if you have a new phone that supports the USB-C standard. If we pull off the back, the battery compartment is exactly the same. So I can take my battery pack from my original X controller and place it into my Series controller, and it will work perfectly fine. And I think this is the main point of this generation for Xbox. It's not a generational leap for them in terms of controllers. It is more a refinement. If you've already got a very, very good controller, then why bother trying to fix it? And I think that's a very fair point. If we look on the front of the controller, you're going to notice a couple of things that really set this controller apart from its predecessor. The first is, of course, that share button. That's the one thing that everyone notices first. This button is like the share button on the PlayStation 4 and 5. When you press it, it will grab pictures and video and allow you to share it a lot quicker. This is something Xbox wasn't very good at before now. You kind of had to jump through 4 or 5 menus to get to where you needed to be. We can also see that new D-pad there as well. As opposed to just left, right, up and down, we now have almost diagonal. So we can do diagonal movements. This is really good for games like Mortal Kombat and other action-based games and fighting-based games where you need slightly more control over the D-pad. And I think the biggest main difference as well is that Xbox button. It's now matte and black like the rest of the controller, so it doesn't stand out as much, and it's slightly less garish in my opinion. So those are the two controllers there. That's them side by side, and I'll do some close-ups of each of them as well, so you get a general idea of what their differences are. But as I noted, this isn't a generational leap, this is more of a refinement of the controller that was already so good on the Xbox One, now made even better for the Series X. Anyway guys, there you have it. That's been my overview and comparison of the Series and original Xbox One controllers. So what do you guys think? Did you prefer the slightly smaller size of the Series controller, or are you going to keep using your original Xbox controller on your Series? Also, are you going to be using your Elite controller? That's also an option here. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon, like, comment, share this video with your friends, because the more people who know about me, the better. Anyway guys, my name's been Robert, this has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.